Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have Revenant here. My name is Adaxi, and we are returning from a lower league match to cast an upper league match. This is going to be relegation. Well, actually, not relegation, but who goes to relegation? Is it going to be LCG or is it going to be Gnomes? Revenant, you want to run through these teams for us and their history in the upper league?
Well, sure. I guess, yeah, we've got Gnomes with Control Alt Delete, Reptar, Scooge, Squad, Sleep, and Index playing to get today versus where's the other team? I don't see the other team. I'm not sure
Oh,
if their roster is
well,
fully complete yet in the squad, but
yeah. They currently have Admiral, Toxic, Pablo, and Kuko right now,
fantastic.
waiting
That
for the
helps me a
last
lot
player.
because, yeah, so LCG is one of I guess now it's the oldest team that has been playing every season since basically the beginning of DPL, I guess. So they have a
Mhm.
long history. Not too many of those players have changed either. These guys have been in roughly the same group for a long time, but they're playing with Kuko now, and I think Kuko is by and far one of the best players in this game. Kuko is also not a German. The rest of these guys, most of them are German, so that's kind of interesting. He's
Yeah.
Finnish. That I was kind of surprised, but Kuko used to play on my team as well. I love the guy, but he's on a German team now, and I think he has helped their team quite a bit. I think they have a better chance these days than in previous seasons where these guys took it pretty lax. I think they have a much better roster now. Gnomes, who they're up against, kind of on how should I say this? They had some highs, they had some lows. Right now, I think they're in a low.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
I mean, they
performing all
beat
that well right
GB,
now.
and now there's some things going on. So,
Yeah, they kind of had the highest point. If they lose this match, I would say this is their lowest one. But I don't think that they necessarily will lose this one. I'm not going to call that so early. Gnomes has some pretty decent players on them for sure. And I think the same case can be made for LCG. Kind of a mixed bag of players for sure. Probably Gnomes a little stronger, and also just a more competitive team, more practiced. So they probably take this one for
good.
sure. We're up. We're coming
I
into the
mean,
next. Oh, are you in? We're in the first round here.
yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but the teams are already going to be starting the matchup here. So
Absolutely.
we'll be loading into bank first.
Yeah. So Operation Unjust Yankee. This is a bank that has a vault that opens into the lobby, which has an interesting distinction, which means that if this lobby is opened, then there's really only one objective because the attackers will have control of that vault door the entire game. They can just walk in once that button is pressed. And for that reason, this button is so far out in this corner that usually you'll see teams blow the loans here and they will push this hallway through this barb and then maybe frag this barb and get the button open. What they need to do, though, is they need to push security out early or have a plan for green as to how to take tellers because they need some way to position in lobby or around lobby to cut off the rotation. You can't let defenders into this vault a late round, otherwise that's going to be basically it. I've certainly sat in vaults like this one and this one included and just played an Ingmar or something like that right into security. That can be really powerful if you let defenders in there. So the goal on this round is going to be don't let defenders rotate out of tellers. Use the green doors, use the vents to make sure that this rotation is cut off, and then
Mm.
play a strong hallway take. We'll see what LCG manages to pull off here. They're going to be using a frag grenade, a door charge, probably a split push. We got Kuko on the Black Tar. We actually have a DL12 being taken by Toxic as well. So it looks like they probably want to take into accounting some degree, maybe.
Yeah, they might want to, clear out manager as there could be a player lurking after they push through button and accounting, all that good stuff. We actually will see that. Toxic will head towards that way, and they'll kick the red door as bait on loans, and because of that, there's some response. They know Index and Control are both playing in loans now, as they have a 5-man push going into the vents. Looks like they're not going to commit that door charge this round, as they only have the nade. First line of defense here for Gnomes, as we'll see spam for no damage yet. Sleep, gonna take half health. Wow, that's not, you don't want that damage right off the beginning. And
He
we'll
has
see a very
dropped his
early
gun.
molly come out.
Sleep
Yeah,
has dropped his
interesting.
weapon on the floor and is using a GAT currently. But anyway,
okay.
This is a green push. I'm already kind of lost.
Oh, Linda's going in already. There's more damage onto Reptar. No damage on L, and 2 players on Gnomes are half health. What is going on?
I'm so
Toxic's
confused.
going to be clearing out these close angles with the shotgun, and they're going to be ready to push this button here, but there is Scooch on the long angle. They're going to have to clear this properly. Lin peeking into the angle. There's damage finally onto
What?
LCG as the button gets open.
What are they doing?
5 players still alive on both teams as the nade goes out on Teller. Index getting ready to hold off this Molly. Spamming through as Lin finds the first pick into the round. It's very late into the round, might I mention, as Reptar's still lurking. We might see Reptar try to hit that button late to help their team out. But Lin is waiting. They're going to have to push through this choke point of Teller as Index finds a pick of his own. It's a 4v4 with 25 seconds on the clock. Here come the flashes as Reptar... This is already a done round as LCG is fighting for their lives in lobby. Goodness.
What was the plan here? This is not how you play Bank, period.
Reptar just went for the button, and Lin couldn't stop it.
This is just not how the map is played, period. You don't open the vault to give the defenders an entire 3-way crossfire to play. That's just not how the map is played. LCG just dropping the ball there completely. Going green on Bank can be a fun sort of twist on Bank because you expect a charge. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I expected they'd go for the Loans take. They didn't. They went for a 5-man green. They used all their utility on accounting. No one was even in there because Gnomes knows if they push accounting, we just have to leave accounting and play the next objective, and that's going to be button. So Gnomes did the right thing, right? They saw the push, and they said, we're just going to have a plan B. Always have a plan B on Bank, right? You want to have your initial setup, and then you want to have a pathway in your mind for where you're going to go when they push you on one end or the other. So if they blow Loans, you go here. If they blow accounting or whatever, or lobby, you go there, you know? And it's a situation where you need to be able to be flexible. You need to fall back and rotate to these new positions. Gnomes did that perfectly. LCG fell right into that. Like, they didn't understand the fundamentals of that map. You just don't open the vault so early, and you have to take one of those key positions. You have to take an objective first. Either you clear out all of that east side of the map, or you take lobby. We didn't see that either. So maybe LCG is more confident on the existing classic legacy maps. Maybe they're better on their C-stores, kill houses, and factories, but I'm kind of shocked at how they played that Bank. That seemed like that was bewildering to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they made their way through Teller before all those defenders rotated,
100%,
that could have gone very differently. Because, you know, they would have won that 1v1 still on the button, and they would have hit the button. The only difference is they would have already been in lobby fighting.
That's exactly what I mean. That Teller's take is totally viable. Well, let's take a look at what they're planning to do on this round. They have a wall charge marked for the dock. They've got lines marked on the fan. They've got lines marked on green. And they've got an arrow to storage. So I think they're kind of mixed up again here. They're pointing at every single possible entrance.
I want to point out that wall again. Look, there's the office rush. It's showing up again.
Office. Yeah, that office rush. And but this time it's different, right? You mentioned a red door in the last game leading into office is something we saw in a lot of maps. But this one's actually a wall charge. So I think the balance here is offset because you have a wall charge, which is a high-cost item, to get you into office, which is high ground, which is good. But to sweeten the deal, they put the power in office on this map as well. So if you use a wall charge, you do get power off, you get high ground, and it's a fan map, so you also get access to fan, which will open up. So that wall charge is extremely high value on this map. It's cover at dock, it's high ground, it's power, it's fan.
Yeah,
that's pretty huge.
Holding this window here. Oh, shot's not going to hit. Admiral going to be holding onto this window. No, Reptar not going to be willing to repeat that. Yeah.
Dropping here is expensive. Yeah, but dropping off the Piper here.
Ooh, Toxic taking the early damage, but Sleep is going to exchange pretty evenly. Both on half health now.
Can we point out that Reptar's angle now, if you look at it, he's actually in the dock truck, and it's a pixel angle all the way to where Toxic is on that stairway.
See a little bit of bang damage from Sleep onto Lind, but not going to be much. Admiral getting pushed off a fan just slightly by the Igmar. Can't get pushed around by that as Reptar finds the pick onto Toxic in server farm.
Oh, kind of mediocre barb coming out from Scood to the office as well.
There's just no pressure on dock yet as Lind throws a flash that's going to be useless. We'll see 2 players in the dock here on the hard right of that wall charge. We'll see if anything can get done. Admiral peeking the fan, finds one. It's a 4v4, but the positions are just not going to be good enough. Sleep finds one of his own as there's no pressure from green now. They have to push in from dock, and Index and Reptar are just going to be holding it. Smoke goes out. There's a molly in the smoke. They have to wait it out again.
Yeah, no flashes. No flashes in hand, 3v4. They've got a lot of good equipment.
Nowhere to go.
This is it. That's it.
No. Yeah. Index actually going to rotate off. Reptar might be...
I think that's correct.
They have to find a pick. I don't know. Index is going wide here.
Uh-oh.
Sleep is found by Admiral. Admiral putting in work.
Oh my god.
And it's just down to Admiral on the Saber. They might actually hunt this Saber down. We already see Scooge heading towards Fan to make sure Admiral can't rotate off that way. And we see Reptar holding on to Doc now. Admiral's just going to have to stick in one place.
Yeah, they don't need the clacker here. They already went green on the last round, so Admiral's okay to just kind of chill out.
I was hoping Scooch would stay on the Fan there. Would have seen Admiral go around that box in the
Shoot the
bottom
Fan out, walk outside, and just peek him. Could have worked, but in either case,
Saber is saved. Again.
Saber saved at least, yeah.
And we'll see Mop.
I don't understand these LCG plans at all. They just don't make sense to me.
I mean, I don't think it's the plans that are the issue. I think it's the execution that's the issue. I mean, they're just not like a lot of others. They're not committing to running through mollies. They're not committing after their utility. Like Lin didn't commit after his flash. Admiral let himself get pushed off by an Igmar, which should have been an easy kill for him with the Saber. Like they're just letting themselves get pushed around and not following up on that util.
What I mean though is that you're completely correct, right? It's the execution, but at some point I have to ask, is that not being planned for? Because if you know that you're going to wall charge a position that you have to rush, why are you planning for black tars and minimal flashes? And are you not planning to wait for mollies? Or that should be discussed beforehand. And I can tell they're not discussing those things, right? Those are things you can figure out.
Jump mollies or not.
Exactly. That's a key thing you have to do when you're going to do a wall charge on Doc like that.
Do you jump the molly or not?
Exactly. Yeah. This map, well, it is.
Prometheus.
Yeah, Westward Prometheus. It's a dome map. It's got a castle right next to a red door. That does mean that you can use an explosive on that castle just to blow it up right away. But to counteract it a little bit, there is a button just next to it. So we might see the double charge. We might see castle take. But even if you have castle, this north jungle area is just going to be so powerful. You have low ground with lots of cover. You have high ground with lots of cover. You've got bushes. The one thing to counteract that is the beach, right? So we're going to have to see a split push no matter what here because the beach is kind of crucial to subdue the people at jungle. So in either case, it's going to be split.
One of the big things here I want to point out from personal experience playing on this map, if teams go for castle rushes, they tend to use a lot of flashes early on. So a lot of barbs toward the jungle side or even inside castle waste so much utility that once these attacking teams get to the bomb, they can't use any flashes to clear out any other ruins positions or
I would say that's fine.
Like that.
I would say that's fine for the reason that they're going into this round, I believe, with night vision. Am I wrong? Did they take night vision last time? No, they did take night vision on the factory and lost all of their pairs. I was going to say that if they decide to leave the castle after taking it, use its high ground to take control of pit, and then hit power, I think it's okay to use your flashes early if it means getting control of power. But since they aren't afforded that, I'm going to agree with you. They're going to be down a lot of utility for that jungle, and that's going to make it really, really hard to pick off Scooge and Reptar, who are in those power positions right now.
And they might just be going for castles so the defenders can't hit lights on them. I mean, we saw 3 defenders alive at the end of that. That is 3 pairs of night vision that could be on them right now. Smoke up beach, we're going to see Lind and Admiral go up at the same time that the red door is blown. No utility baited out.
Yeah. Also, no pairs of NVGs.
On the auto, though. Okay.
I just checked. There's no NVGs on defenders.
He is close on the auto. We'll see what he does here. Might be an Argo type play, as Toxic does have the nade in hand. Not going to get pushed out just yet. Control is waiting. Control's going.
Oh, shut down.
One. Unfortunate. Just a little bit of damage onto Pablo. Maybe 25, 50 damage. Yeah. And we'll see Reptar start to hold close with the mop. There goes a shot. Going to connect with Kuko. And Kuko's dead after Index swings. More damage coming out. And Index finds a second. There's no pressure from
the nade on Sleep.
And Sleep is going to survive that. As it's just Toxic left on the south side of the map. Lin pushing through a barb on his own. And that's going to be the death of him. It's just Toxic. Toxic is in an interesting position. Might be able to lurk around and find a pick. But is making a lot of noise. Gets punished for it. Mop shot connects. 15 HP on Toxic. And Admiral is lit up as well from Index. Not looking like a good situation here. They have to commit to this round, though. It's the last round in the quarter as Toxic finds one onto Sleep. Reptar still with the mop. Finds the pick on to Toxic. And now it's just the Saber on Admiral. Does have a flash, but not going to be very effective here when there's so many positions that he needs to flash out. Reptar could swing from 2 possible angles. Scooch from 1 as well.
He basically has
doesn't
the
look
full
like
flash
anything's gonna
Scooch here. He knows where Scooch is. He knows where Reptar is, and he has a rough idea of Index's position at this point.
Shot is missed, and
that's
I don't know where Admiral's
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Admiral, where are you going, man? This is what I'm talking about. Like, it's painful to watch. Not just because he's there in that situation. I'm sure Admiral thinks it's a loss anyway. Who cares? But this is painful to watch because look at how much death is happening at our red door. You're telling me you want to go to castle and you don't have a plan for getting through the red door?
And they stopped the auto rush out the red door too.
They did. They had a kill and they have beach coverage that it hasn't been picked yet. There's not even any damage on them. They should be full confidence moving into that castle, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't move a muscle.
They especially didn't push after the initial mop shot. They were just like, well, crap, Kuko's 15 HP. What are we going to do without a fragger?
Right now, Admiral's leading the damage with about just over 300 versus Index with 900 damage. 3 times the damage. Meanwhile, Kuko's got no kills. He's got 1 assist, minimal damage, toxic minimal damage as well. This is really, really ugly. People are not setting themselves up on LCG to even deal the damage they need. So I think defense might be the 6 defense rounds that they get to play in a row might be more their speed. They might be able to sort of offset those really ugly first 3 attack rounds. But even then, if that's telling, I'm really upset by that.
Yeah. And also Index
process.
Index isn't even playing snipers. Index is playing like the Igmar, and he is fragging out on it against players who are using like the Saber and Lactars, which is very impressive. Especially he's taking like 1v1 angles. We saw that on Factory as well.
That's what you want to do with the Ingmar, right? The Ingmar is the best gun in the game. No question, fight me, right? There's no question. That gun, I mean, aside from the weapons that can one-shot you, that gun can beat out the AP, it can beat out the Black Tar and DPS. You want that gun in those 1v1 situations where if you can get the double dink, you're gold, man. And even if you don't, it's got thick penetration and 35 damage. That's good enough, right? A little bit better than a KR, maybe a little worse in terms of body shot kill potential, but in general, that thing is an absolute beast. And you want it in the hands of a player who can confidently pick their fights, right? And pick the right fights to pick, and Index is doing that. But here they are with Gnomes on attack now. They're opting for the double charge early. Double charge round 1 is absolutely lunacy, right? Like, what does that mean? But it does make sense with that dome, right? When you have a dome in rotation, you can trick the enemy team or even just tell them openly, hey, we're going to go green on dome. We don't care. We're going to win this other map with 2 charges. And this is a great... Yeah, go ahead, please.
I mean, they might just be vying for like 2 rounds here, because once you're at 5, you have the advantage in whatever quarter you're going into next, like no matter what. Yeah. So they might just be committing for the 2 rounds here as a lone push goes out. 2 flashes are committed early as Scooge is going to swing onto Admiral. Little bit of chip damage here as Lind is going to swing in himself. He does have a molly. There is an opportunity to stall the button press, but it looks like Gnomes are aware they can't press that button right off.
No one's with Reptar. No one's with Reptar. So he's gonna have to clack and then pull out the Saber. And by the time
looks like Scooge is gonna come over to clack for Reptar
and Index. It looks like that's
Kuko's gonna be hearing all this. Kuko's hearing all of these noises right now.
Absolutely, a good point. They're definitely gonna be hearing that. Admiral is maybe not getting a memo.
Admiral should be turning around. Kuko should have made a call at this point.
Kuko did not make the call then.
And there's a flash through. Kuko finds 1. Kuko finds 2. Popping off finally like he needs to. And Reptar gonna find the trade. Sleep coming through security. Might be able to pinch out Admiral here. Reptar should be aware that Admiral is in the left side.
Look at this stalemate. Look at North. Look at Lind in control right now. Look at this stalemate they're in. Neither can move a muscle right now.
Oh, there it is. Trade from Admiral onto Reptar and Sleep trading Admiral. There's the button press. Lind might be getting ready to just hit the button here when Pablo and Toxic call.
That's an auto 2 mollies.
There's a molly, and then they're just going to hit the button. Now they have to go back. It's the same game. It is the same game. This button is so easy to just run in and press, even if you take a little bit of damage. And now Control has to take a completely different route. Going to get taken out for it. And that's 2 mollies still saved. And Sleep has to leave with
right here, if LCG's really paying attention, they hit the button, they get those players open up, and they take control of this lobby and look for that Saber and Clacker and deny it, right? Because they know that that's going to be... Yeah, there it is. There's the button. They need to get out of here and look for loot.
Sleep has the Clacker just to his right. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's getting the Saber. Toxic dropped the auto. He's rushing for this.
He doesn't need Clacker, if you think about it.
Oh, that's true.
They took 2 charges, so they know that only 1 round here.
Oh, so close.
Wow. Yeah, he does manage to get Saber, though. It would have been nice for the defenders to have the Clacker just because it's a tool, but that they could use against them. But even then, yeah, letting them get the Saber, maybe a little bit of a misplay, but at least they have the auto. They only lost the knack there. But that's what I'm talking about. There's LCG actually waking up and playing defense. I think the defense rounds are going to be what they need to sort of equalize this and figure themselves out here for a second against Gnomes. Big plays from Kuko for sure, although I don't think he did here. I mean, Admiral almost lost his life there right off the bat, but he had a good reaction to running north out of lobby.
I'd like to see how Gnomes recovers from that. They committed 2 charges that round.
Yep. I was just thinking about that. Trying to think about the economy here and what that means for them. It seems like that dome might be the place to win if they can eke out a really good like smoke and get some power on that dome. Because I think with Saber they could probably win the dome with a north rush with power off. There's just so much open space, and with the Saber they could probably win that. There's been a call for a pause. I'm not sure anyone has paused yet. There it is. There's the pause.
It is paused.
Seems like one of the players has just crashed. I'll be back in just a moment. In the meantime,
LCG.
we can take another look at Absolute Judgment.
Finally, a round on the board though for LCG. Just want to mention they played the time on that very well, and I just want to point out on that bank, that button is so easy. Even if you need to take damage doing it, it is so easy to just cross that 2-unit, not even 2-unit gap to hit the button again.
Absolutely,
any defender can just run across that with their head down and just flick up and hit the button, and that's throws the entire attacking team off. I think that's just such a hard button to hold. You have to commit somebody to hold that, or even just clear accounting so they can't retake button.
In that round, Index did about 60 damage, and Kuka walked away with over 300 damage. That is a pretty big distinction in the last rounds. I mean, everyone on LCG aside from Pablo walked away with at least 100 damage. And that's good to see for sure. I mean, there was a lot getting done that round. Still, we have, of course, the threat of this dock, because you know that this wall charge is going to come out here. There's not really a place to use it on the dome, so we're probably going to see a charge on factory, and then the full like NVG take on domes beach. In most cases, I think that'd be what they do here. This wall charge on the dock, though, towards office is probably not going to happen because I think LCG kind of laid out exactly why it isn't going to work all the time, because you have so many angles and so many trucks to cover. The conveyors is very strong. These trucks are very good. Lower dock is completely covered, so a lot of
you can't really flash those trucks out very well. I mean, unless you commit somebody all the way over here to flash over.
Yeah.
And even then, the mop can just, or whatever gun is playing there, can just run into the truck.
I still think this is worth it to do. Just for just in general, it's pretty good if you're going to go dock. But I agree. So, I don't think they're going to opt for it. They're going for this wall here.
I know this is theoretical, but what if you wall charged out of the right dock instead and cleared the players close and cleared the players conveyors?
I think if you did a conveyors rush, what'll happen is if one smart player playing storage has a molly and puts a molly right here, then the guy in office now has the craziest 180 pincer of his life. And he gets to play a pixel peek, and he just murders everyone right here. So that is conditional, right? It seems like it could work, but if a molly lands right here, that's it. It's not going to happen, you know? And if one guy's playing top pipeworks, he just has to walk to this north corner, kind of move up a little bit, and I'm sure he has some crazy angles down here too. And you do not want to fight that because of this cover right here in the middle of pipeworks. Regardless of that,
so many angles and no alternative for it.
Which is why I think we're seeing Gnomes decide to play this. They're going to hug the wall is what I want to say. They're going to just play on this north wall and wall charge out here.
Ooh, looks like Mop is going to be on Lynn. We'll see a spawn peek coming out. We'll see if it happens here.
Double peek too. By the way.
Ooh, Sleep has the wall. No.
Oh, there it is.
And now they know the wall charge is outside of the truck as well.
Yep.
They know what's going to be happening, and Lynn and Toxic make it away.
They kind of already knew that, right? With the double door charge being taken in the last round, they kind of know a wall is going to get used this map. So it isn't actually too much information.
They might have only expected an aggressive green hold. So
well, that's fair. Yeah. Well, what I mean is like seeing Sleep run north there is enough intel to say they're not going to play dock. And what I like to see here, finally LCG playing towards the meta a little bit. Look at how they're positioned in this sort of ring around server farm, right? They're all playing reactive to the green door because they know that's where it's going to happen.
Kick, and Toxic's going to get even more damage.
What Control should do right here, in my opinion, is run dock. He should run the dock and blow it open, because at this point they're just going to hard hold green.
Yeah, Kuko in a really good position for this wall charge as well, as Pablo's going to be spamming through. No damage for him.
Yep.
It's 4 players on the Gnome side. They're all going to be going through this wall charge, it seems like. There it is. Kuko needs to just spray through, and there's so much damage. Oh my goodness. As Admiral's here to support as Kuko gets flashed, and there's a team kill from Toxic, but it doesn't even matter. Reptar is alone, and it's just the Saber left.
Yep. This is brutal.
What do you do in this situation?
Well, you said it there, but look at that. That's a 4K from Toxic. I mean, that is wonderful. Look at how he just played that Ingmar so beautifully. I hope we get to see that again. But wow, yeah, that is you can look at Scooch Squad drawing that line over and over on sleep. Like, man, dude,
they're drilling
look
him
at
right
Green.
now.
Absolutely.
They're telling him, you have the charge in your hand. You can't peek like that. You're damned. You're just going to get messed up.
Absolutely.
And that's something you need to watch for. Basically, every team in Upper League is doing aggressive green holds now when they have when they feel that green is going to be the main point.
Well, I want to say, like, you know, LCG, sometimes people will say that they're kind of behind or whatever, and to me, you know, what do we just see on that first bank, right? Like, I thought these guys are clueless. Like, what are they doing? This is not how you play right now. But right away, they woke up and they said, no, we get it, right? We're just not used to it. Like, we'll play the meta here, and we'll just destroy them by playing that. So, you know, that's good. Oh, whoa!
Yeah, we get to see a replay of Kuko, actually.
Pablo just died to UAV. He did not time that right at all. So he's going to be dropping, I think, the Ingmar?
Not sure if that...
Or no, Toxic of the Ingmar. I don't know what he had. Maybe, I think he had a knack, actually.
I believe he had an Ingmar and a Clacker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter anyways, though, because there are no charges left for Gnomes.
Yep.
Kuko! They're going to go up this beach.
Kuko gets another almost 300 damage that round, 270.
Wow.
And 200 for Lind as well. So, yeah.
Really coming to life when he's needed. I mean, I mentioned it 2 rounds ago. He's not fragging out like he usually does. And then, boom. I don't know if it's caster's
curse for
Gnomes.
I think it's defense. No, I think it's just you get on defense. You can kind of sit back and you say, I don't play this game too much now. You know, I'm not too comfortable. Put a Gruber in my hand and I'll just sit here and watch the doors and, you know, click heads, right? Yep. Attack, it's a little bit more cerebral. And I'm not saying Kuko's dumb. I'm saying, you know, you might not want to think about that stuff all the time, right? Kuko's a very bright player, but I can tell sometimes that when players are kind of disconnected because it's attack, you got to play the attack rounds. They're kind of boring sometimes. And then people kind of check out a little bit. But this is the round that I'm most interested in, right? Because this has been contextualized and informed by that first double charge we saw on the bank. So that means that LCG can opt for this double molly onto the landers, right? Which could do a lot of damage early if it lands right on their head. And they can also set up these barbs for a rush because they know that there's only 2 real objectives here. The first is what I articulated earlier, which is to take Pit for power, which is very difficult to do because of Castle, but you could, with a smoke and some good flashes, absolutely get power control. And number 2, it's going to be this beach rush up to top jungle. And I think the combination of the 2, kind of in 2 sort of, how shall I say, kind of beats like 2 chapters to this play, right? You have the first chapter, which is take control of Pit and get control of his power, and the second one being, let's go out into top jungle with the power off. If that is done in the right chronological order and it's done efficiently and with the right people in those positions, that could be the only way that they win this. But right now, if you look at the mollies, count the mollies, actually. How many mollies do you see? Oh my god!
One just got used. So never mind, there's only 4 now. There were 5.
Only 4. The only 4, yeah.
Only 4?
Only 4 mollies on this one round.
We'll see if the beach push come up very, very quickly. I mean, they realize that they just have to commit to this, but nobody's actively holding this. Both mollies go out at the same time.
I don't like those mollies either.
But it doesn't actually make it into the boats.
Yeah, they both miss. I consider that a miss.
See a re-molly here for Admiral, but nobody's going to be at that boat. It's actually a good molly as well.
Yeah, that one's
So
good.
We'll see Toxic and Admiral both fall off in the pit, and Beach is surrendered.
But notice how they didn't actually barb the pit in this case. Which, even if Gnomes doesn't know that, I mean...
They're barbing the angles for Pablo here. Pablo plays a hard angle. I don't know why he's peeking this, but if he plays a hard angle from the north, he can easily hold on to these barbs.
He needs to be doing that, 100%.
Looks like Scooge is going to be getting close to pit. Here's Lynn finds the first pick on his sleep. That is a mop.
Scooge will pick Pablo here. I bet. Oh, Pablo runs back. What is he doing? He's so uncomfortable with this play right now.
I think he wants to be concerned about a rush. That's why he has Molly in hand. Lynn finding another. It's just a party for him right now. As shots ring out, Pablo finds one onto Scooge, as Scooge is distracted by the pit door. We'll see Kuko find one of his own as Admiral, or excuse me, Control throws the nade. Flash goes out. Kuko kills Toxic, but it doesn't matter. It's a 3-3 half for LCG.
Oh wow!
Beautiful rounds.
That was beautiful from LCG, bringing it back 3-3 from a 0-3 start. I mean,
they have another 3 defender rounds coming up. If they keep playing like this, they might just cause a tie and push this to another. I don't know if that's what it is. Push this to another because it is tiebreaker. Somebody has to win.
Somebody has to win here. So, wow, let's look at the damage here. So now we have another. Oh, we have like over almost 400 damage for Blind that round. I think pushing up to 930. He's now basically tied with Index. And now we have Lind and Kuko above 4 players on Gnomes in terms of damage, right? Just neck and neck with Index. That's pretty sad, right? Control has got 66 damage on the board. He's gotten basically nothing done this game. He needs to be playing these support roles a little bit better. He needs to just check out and say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take double flash and flash you in, or I'm going to take clacker charge.
Or time to take shotgun and nade. I'll nade the green door barb and then shotgun it for you.
You can still be effective, but they have to have this reality check here, because if they're still going to be playing these attack rounds, they have to rethink who's in the positions that they're playing. The other thing I think about is I think that double charge loss was a big damage to their mindset, right?
Yeah,
because they expected guarantee win and they got slaughterhouse, right?
That was momentum just gone, killed in an instant.
Yeah. And that totally destroyed their thinking towards the dome that they needed to take. And I don't know, man. I think it would have been interesting if they 5-man barreled it down into pit with some smokes. That would have been fun because they know jungle's going to get held, but power could be your win condition there. I was kind of sad not to see that, but oh well. Looks like they're opting for a bread and butter vanilla storefront take. I agree with the storefront take. I disagree with the positioning of a middle storefront charge.
Yeah, it needs to be straight into freezer or straight into bathroom. You can't just go right into the middle and spread out.
It's got to be freezer or bathroom, and they're both very viable takes. I do think that probably this bathroom is a better bet, and Lind is drawing some arrows here like he wants. Yeah, because actually what this bathroom gets you is a little bit more cover. It puts you away from these teller's angles that are a little more nasty if you go for freezer. And what you get for that is control of storefront, which, I mean, you already have control of storefront because you breached, but what I'm saying is you sort of exponentially increase your power in storefront, right, as you push through this, and then you eventually get tellers. So wrapping this sort of in a counterclockwise way is, I think, much, much better than taking freezer. That doesn't mean that a guy in freezer could shoot this the whole time.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, but in my mind, why wouldn't you just set 4 on this side, play the cover into the teller door and these head glitches, and then have one person go green and clear out all this flank work right here? So then you have the entire left side of the map and an angle into tellers. And when
they're both viable.
Angle here.
I've done both. I've seen both. They're both viable. I just think the way that these guys are playing right now, against Yeah, you have to remember, right? They've got Pablo and Lind playing this storefront with like Ingmar and KRM. They want to play these long angles, and I think
Molly comes out, no flash wasted as well.
Yeah, Toxic kind of weird here because he's got like the barb set up for bathroom. But...
my man, you already learned this mistake on Factory. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
We'll see 4 on green here, even though Sleep has the wall. And they're just going to be pushing in. We'll see 3 players in Arcade. Auto's on Toxic. He might run through this. There's the wall charge.
Solo wall charge with AP.
Yeah.
By the way.
Looks like it's just going to be a back push into tellers here.
Could work. They need power control.
With that auto again. There goes the flash. They're going to be trying to follow up on this. Toxic finds 1. Lind finds 1, but there's a trade. See, look at that angle. Lind is playing with the teller door open. Finds Index as Pablo finds one of his own on the Sleep running in. That's already the round. They played those angles perfectly. I mean,
that's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
They fell off the right time at green, even though they had wasted a molly. They fell off the right time at arcade, and the flash was just not followed up on there in teller. It was just not where it should have been. It got flash sort of bounced into the cover instead of deep.
I have to say, I'm just not seeing it. Like, these Gnomes plans today are really funky.
Yeah, like, I can understand 1 green 4 storefront, but 4 green 1 storefront? Hello?
Yeah, but not even Saber. It was an AP. You can't. You don't even win the bomb head glitch, let alone all the other fights you have to take against Deli Counter and Freezer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a Black Tar if you're trying to save the Saber for a future map.
Fair enough. Yeah,
an AP is like, no.
Okay,
You've got
Operation
3 different angles to
Sledgehammer
cover.
Typhoon. Yeah, a lot of angles on that storefront, and none of them were decided upon.
I just want to say before you run down this map is personally one of the hardest maps I've played for attack.
Yes, I was about to say that as well. I couldn't agree more. Sledgehammer Typhoon as a kill house is profoundly difficult for attackers to take for the following reasons. One, Kitchen is covered head to toe in bulletproof or near bulletproof cover, which means that anywhere inside Kitchen, you can sit behind the bomb, you can sit behind whatever you want. Pick a place, you have an angle to play a wallbang, right? If you're bulletproof and you've got a thick penetration weapon, you're doing full damage, and they have no retaliation against you, which means you can cut the map in half like this with wall bangs. You can cut off lockers right here with a barbed wire here. Yeah, exactly. And then you can also sit behind this one and cut it off with a barbed wire out here. And if you do that, you have this insane wall bang potential the entire round. And once you figured out where the attackers are going to come from, you can set those wall bangs up in alternate angles. You can have people cutting through like this. You can have people shooting through here. You could have anything you want. And it only takes these 3 barbs. 1, which I think should be up here. 2, which should be up near this door, and then 3, which is where Pablo has his placed right now.
And flashing into sight and rushing it just isn't possible, because when you're just coming into sight, your door is covered. You don't have an angle from green door to green door on sight. So you can't just come through lockers and then like quadruple flash sight. That's just not going to work. You're either going to get wall banged, or you're just going to have people rotate into the site that aren't flashed and just kill you.
So this is going to be a really difficult round for Index to figure out. I'm sure he can find a way in, but it's got to be really, really clever, you know? This pillbox as well, even though no one's playing it yet, it offers a quick rotation to allow Lind or Kuko to play against this hallway take if they went for that. The angle from pillbox down to this doorway kind of sucks.
Lind's taken out. That is not good.
That was early. I didn't like that at all. I think he should have played it tucked like Kicho did in the previous round. You got to play that like passive.
Yeah, he went for a more aggressive approach, and it did not pay off. We'll see how this push pans out, though, as there is a spray through for Kuko. Not much damage, just a little bit onto Index. And pillbox control is going to be surrendered as Kuko has to make it into the site. Now the attackers have the advantage of using these wall bangs.
Toxic dies here. Toxic dies here. He's going to start wall banging this right here. No, he's going to start wall banging, and they're going to just destroy him here.
Oh!
No! Wow!
He finds one. Scooch is just going to be sitting in the middle of the cover, picks up the door charge. They're getting ready to door charge the site. They're getting ready to door charge, and we'll see Scooch.
Oh my god!
Flash.
Where are the wall bangs for Toxic? They know he's there now.
There goes the charge, and Toxic's just going to run out of it. Oh, finds one, but he's going to be traded. And it's a 3v2. I mean, the initial push was there, but it's just not fanning out for either of these teams. I'm not sure what's going on.
There's no response.
Okay from Admiral. And
oh my god,
2 bullets. 2 bullets to a random wall. That's probably the end of this round. And Index just has to flash in. Like I mentioned, these flashes aren't going to be effective on this site. And Pablo finds the final pick. Wow, Admiral. Just that 2 bullets just flick to a random spot and get a kill. That is so nice.
Toxic opting for the half damage auto. Right through this wall, the wall bang auto to do half damage, minimal damage, and still managed to pick off 2 entire people through the wall and a third on the run out. Yet there's no response, no wall bang response.
Use that wall bangs.
Why weren't they? They had no one ready for the wall bangs. What were they doing?
I mean, and when they set 2 people in pillbox and finally got the door charge onto site door. What are you going to do with 2 people in pillbox? You need those people next to the door charge ready to flash.
Toxic got 391 damage that round.
Oh my god.
With wall bangs on an auto, which is not even... That's half damage. That's crazy. That's just ridiculous. Kudos to him for making that work, but wow, where was Reptar? Where was Index for that wall bang response with their APs? They just do full damage and spray him down. There was no pressure on the walls.
Yeah, Toxic with the final 2 bullets of that auto. Gonna find the kill as well.
Crazy.
So I'd say that was worth the commit if he had 2 bullets left.
Absolutely. Well done to LCG. 5-3 now.
They've made the comeback.
This is crazy.
Pushing this. Are we gonna have 2 upsets in one day?
Goodness. I mean, I'm down. Always exciting. Okay, let's look at this map. Nimble Galahad. This is a bank map that has a vault inside of security. So that means that you have to deal with security one way or the other. The one way you can deal with it is by forcing it with some flashbangs or something through the X-ray machine and getting through these doors. The downside to that is that you have people in accounting that can kill you on the way in. Usually what you're going to see is maybe like a barbed wire maybe that cuts off sight like this. So you have the lower X-ray machine and the vault kind of covered, and you just sit back here with an Ingmar, and you just watch that long angle. But again, LCG's opting for their barbs to be a little bit more aggressive. They want to win early. They don't want to put their barbs all the way back at vault. They're opting to cover things like the green doors themselves and security door, which is, I maybe disagree with that, but they have a knack here as well. And so these are very thick walls. They're going to be able to asymmetrically wall bang the drop downs for the vaults, or the vents, pardon me, which could be pretty cool. And then Kuko opting to play on his own with an Ingmar out in loans, which is actually, I kind of like that idea here. You want someone off site, but there's so much room to play around inside lobby and loans that this is probably the right play. Help me out here. What is attack going to do in this round? What are they doing?
I'm really not sure. They're going in with no charge, going in with just a bunch of flashes, not even a nade in hand. And it's just going to be a spray through from Pablo here, yeah.
Oh, no. Yep.
No, it's going to spray a little bit too early because they haven't dropped out yet, but there is a little bit of damage. Team is separated right now. Pablo can easily find more damage here, but it's just not happening. Oh, there it is. Scooch finds the first onto Admiral. Admiral getting a little aggressive, and they're going to try to flash through that. Control going to take a little bit of damage, just a sliver from that molly. And now it looks like LCG is all backing up. They've lost this first pick without getting like any damage, and they're sort of just giving it up.
I mean,
are they going to?
It's weird because they're leaving Toxic here. It seems like the communication was made that we did our job, we got our pick, we're going to play the button now. But Toxic's actually maintaining his position here with a Gruber. So that's going to be a lot of pressure for him to win this 1v1 or whatever it is when they try and take security.
This is going to be a hard choke to get through. There goes the flash. Kuko is on the desk of loans, finds one, finds two. Can he find the third with a pistol? No, Lind cleans it up, and it's just Reptar and Sleep. We'll see Saber and Blacktar. No APs in hand. Everyone has died to that barbed wire. And Reptar down as well. It's just down to Sleep. What can he do in this situation with a Blacktar and a smoke?
Where was the security take? They have to take it at some point, right? Why not take it early, clear out Toxic, and then you have, maybe you look at lobby and you go, hey, there's no barb here. There's nothing here. Let's go. Yeah. Maybe they can't see a barb here, but
Sleep
they certainly
in a hard
know that
situation. He has to do something here. It's the last round of the quarter. Gonna smoke it. Probably just gonna get spammed here. Exactly. And there it is. Another 3 defender rounds for LCG. Now, they may have lost all 3 attacker rounds, but the challenge is so low now. They only have to win one attacker round this entire game.
I'm gonna say they can't do it. At 6-6, I'm calling. No, they can't do it.
I'm gonna say that with the momentum, I'm gonna say they win.
They probably win the next. Yeah, I think they win the next.
Just with the momentum.
I think it'd be hilarious if they just can't win attack rounds. That'd be the funniest thing in the world. They can win.
We've seen that before. We've seen games where nobody wins an attacker round or nobody wins a defender round.
Yeah. Well, I hope they can manage to find their one win here, but
absolutely insane that round. That was a beautiful display. Lind coming in after the reload on the mop to clean it up and support him. Beautiful teamwork there. Beautiful crossfire. And that was just a really hard position to flash.
Dude, that just goes to show when you're forced to green and you don't have a frag on bank, like it is over. They like that was just
even though Admiral lost the first fight. Yeah. And there was man advantage for Gnomes. They just still couldn't get through those chokes.
It's just not viable. Okay, here's why I disagree. Here's why already I'm concerned about LCG this round. So this door charge on bathroom, right? If they commit this door charge and they're not planning to double charge the storefront, and Gnomes calls it early enough, they just bolt out of tellers and then play right here and play behind bomb. And they just have all this control towards bathroom because they know that if you're blowing this, you're forced into this deli counter and it's just a shooting gallery for the defenders. You need to open up storefront and then take bathroom if you want to take it. You can't just take it alone.
I mean, there was the line for the reverse charge, and now it seems to be on storefront.
I think they realized that even just their game sense kicked in and they went, wait, that's not going to be right.
We're in a pause right now for Gnomes. So I just want to point out one thing before you continue rambling on.
Rambling?
Okay. In a good connotation, all right? This is very educational for anybody who doesn't understand some of the mind process or some of the thinking processes that go through some of these teams. So with Arcade, LCG is planning to do the same sort of arcade push that Gnomes did. We don't know with how many players yet, but the biggest thing here is can they hit their flashes on teller? So one of the things that happened for Gnomes on attack is their flash bounced off the teller window and went directly into this piece of cover instead of going deep or going high, which just allowed the player in teller to swing and get picks and damage. So LCG really needs to be precise here with their utility. They've shown that they are definitely capable of fragging out as much as Gnomes are, but they need to hit the utility here for this round to work.
I think you're right about that. I'm also concerned about this power because even though it might seem like green to arcade means you can't hit power, you still want to hit the power here and try and control this area, this choke point, with Molotovs from Deli Counter. And if they opt for if they opt for a push like this, I think what has to happen is the guy in Tellers needs to have a molly, and the guy in Deli needs to have a molly, and they're going to swing at the right time. So whoever's pushing in towards Teller gets killed. We're going to see if they take the NVGs here, but even though this power is in a funky spot, I think you still want to try and hit it just to deny the storefront open. Yeah.
So Reptar seems to be wanting to play Mop here on Deli. Yeah, so if Reptar rotates to the other side of Deli,
not if they blow the storefront, obviously, right? He's not going to play here. What I'm saying is, even if you sit right here in this corner and you're just playing this long here, that's probably what you need. It's going to be really, really challenging because basically LCG has said we're going to go all out, Saber, Grenade, and Wall Charge on this round. And if they do that, it's going to be very, very difficult for them for Gnomes to maintain their Mop pressure at all this round because he's going to get pinched really, really hard.
But on the side of the defenders, 2 KRUs, a shotgun, a Gruber, and 1 Mop. So I feel like the team's a little bit suited more for close range here. I mean, we might see Control do some work, put in some work finally with that Gruber. But
maybe
Sleep is not going to be very effective unless he has an LS on hand.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about Sleep with the tub here. This is not a tub map.
Not unless you're playing like Storage or Freezer and you're planning to run out.
You definitely play it Storage, I think.
Green gets shotgunned. We'll see it kicked out of the way as there's no pressure on Green. It's just going to be Reptar holding this arcade bar.
Yeah,
we'll
take a look at Sleep here. Shotgun. Sleep does have a GAT, so
yeah,
I'm a little concerned about what he's
out. Early Molly, and we might see Admiral look for a pick. There is a nade going out. Arcade has been opened up as the Molly is way too early and a little bit too deep.
Wake up, Reptar. You've got the barbed wire.
Oh, Reptar finding that pick onto Lind. Granted, it's not the Saber, but now they can look for another pick. They have to be careful. Control rushing out, finds 1. That is a worthwhile trade. But
where's the barb?
There.
Sleep is here now. Sleep. You need to just
has the tub. Okay. Flash goes out. It's not going to be very deep. Might be able to find 1. Reptar supporting.
Reptar doesn't see him. There's the body.
Sleep goes through, but Pablo's going to find them. Scooge going into Teller. Admiral not able to find the trade on Scooge, and now it's 2 players alive for LCG. Reptar hits the shot, and now it's Admiral with the Saber. Finds the Mop, but is on 15 HP with a Clacker.
I think
they just need to save in this situation.
Yeah, I think he just sits back, maybe back here, so he's outside of the storefront range, and just tries to hold Reptar's Mop right now, because that would be pretty. Happen. Yeah, that'd be pretty good to just try and cover.
15 HP though, 1 KR bullet from either of these players could kill him.
Yeah, I don't know when they're gonna make the decision to go for that, but it's only 25 seconds now.
They might as well open storefront just to scare him.
That's what I'm trying to figure out: is why isn't the storefront being opened right now? I was gonna say, I was thinking that
it looks like Scooge is gonna go for this.
He's just walking for it. That could be to his detriment here. Why is he? Okay, he has no idea where Admiral is. He long arms it, I think.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, he gets it.
And now Admiral knows.
Oh! Right over his shoulder.
Mop is saved. A Barb is saved as well.
Yeah. Very confusing, though. I mean, even though Gnomes managed to win that round, I don't understand why that Barb wasn't placed when the Molly was down. That seemed like the most obvious play. You basically win that round. When that frag came out, you put another Barb down, late Barb, boom. You have total control from Tellers. But we saw the complete opposite. We saw control all the elite, send it into green for a trade, which is good for him for taking that initiative, but I didn't really understand what the purpose of that Barb was if he was going to do that. However, he picked up 230 damage that round, Reptar with 420 damage that round. So, I mean, pretty definitive defense from Gnomes. And hey, LCG didn't win that round, right? Is it going to set in now?
Momentum is gone.
We're not attacker gamers. Yeah, what's going on?
Now it's the kill house.
Yeah,
this is Defender kill house. So I'm wondering, is LCG going to do the same thing here as Gnomes, except actually bring a nade? for that wall bang,
I
or
don't know.
is it just going to be the lockers?
I'd like
and
to
then
see the
just try to
lockers
rush them?
commit. I'd like to see the lockers
Really,
commit.
I feel like it's gonna not. I don't feel like that's gonna work out, but maybe LCG has a trick up their sleeves. Maybe they are capable of playing this kitchen very well.
I'll say this: nothing looks like it will work, right? So I just want to see, for variety's sake, I want to see a team try and take the lockers on this one, just to try and mix it up, because we already saw the checkpoint take.
Yeah.
I've seen people try and take hallway. It's miserable.
In
I think
my
they're all
opinion,
miserable.
If you're okay, so granted, wall charge was already used, but this is a theoretical. Say this is a map later in the rotation.
Yeah.
Would you not, even though yes, some of this is bulletproof covered in kitchen, would you not wall charge one of these shelves to cut off the angles to rotate in and out of sight?
You could. I think that's viable. What I might think of doing is
like, what is the win condition for attackers here? What
I have an
has
idea
to get done?
Weird plan, right? Like you bait a checkpoint to hallway pillbox take, right? But meanwhile, you're playing it really slow, and two guys are just walking the entire map through lockers. Just walking.
Really?
And as soon as they get to this barb, then they put a door charge on this door and send it into sight.
Okay.
One guy has double flash, one guy has clacker charge, and then just in.
We do usually see a player in lockers though on this map, so we'll
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Really?
To me, yeah. Put that barb down.
I've always seen an auto player here or somebody holding this sharp angle. Like, somebody always has eyes on lockers on this map.
Yeah, what I mean is, even if there is a guy there, if you're just walking in, that guy's got his guard down, because it's a sleepy job.
Lockers is blown, and there's no presence inside yet for LCG.
Yeah, look,
so all the defenders are just going to be ready.
Yeah, there's not even going to be pressure there.
Like
and Toxic has the DL.
Scooch might be going for wall bangs here. We'll see in just a second.
Yeah, that door is closed. These are just wall bangs they're going for, but it's a pretty easy lineup. Toxic is going to pop this door open and then frag it from the side. Maybe not.
Sleep going for very long range auto damage. Here, the wall bangs. Lind is actually sneaking up on green.
All right, we see an inversion of
aware of this, though.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
They're actually waiting for Lind to clear out the rest of the map so they can know whether they need to flash deep in sight.
Look at bomb. Look at bomb. It's all about this bomb position. If they play the head glitch on bomb, Lind is there to wall bang.
Everyone is just stacked up in this close fight here. The barb is gone on site, though. Sleep wasting more ammo, not getting any damage. Look at all of the health bars. Nobody has taken damage this round except for Toxic and Index. Sleep finally getting damaged a bit. Looks like the attackers are all just going for as much damage as they can before they commit to this. Scooch spamming through that barb, but Toxic is already through.
Yeah, Lind is putting pressure on the back line now, as well as PK, just to sort of tag them out.
Reptar's aware of this. Reptar's not going to be able to help on the main line. This is a stall now. It's 38 seconds on the clock. They have to make it through this barbed wire.
They've got two mollies as well, Gnomes, so this is not going to work, I don't think.
They might just commit through this molly. They're going to commit through this molly.
They have to.
They're committing. They're committing. They have to find the picks. Index is found. Control not. But Sleep is dead. Lind needs to put in work here so his teammates can get in. He gets the third. He's not going to be able to find the Nexus. Pablo has to get on the bomb. Finds control. He needs to stick the bomb at this instant. As Admiral comes in, they have to tap the bomb. Reptar is watching.
What are you doing?
No. And it's found. There was such a close chance. It was just so close.
Wow. Pablo, all he had to do was sit on the corner and long arm. He didn't even think. Where was the call it? Where's the death call? Pablo defused now.
That is the closest I have ever seen attackers come to winning that map.
That was a really good try from them, for sure. I mean, those
they jumped that molly, and Gnomes were just not ready for it.
No, they weren't.
I mean, granted, control swung and got a pick, but was traded afterwards by Lind.
I think that molly was bad, though. It went into lockers instead of into sight. You want that in sight every time. Well, 6-5. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's a tie. I'm telling you, they're not going to win. It's an attack round.
I don't know, man. After a round like that, they might actually be kind of hyped up.
Look, you've got a long-range C-Star with good cover in it, right? You've got a complicated tellers in that map. Then you have a kill house that, like, I never see attackers win ever. Okay. And then you have a bank, which just inherently is defender-sided, I believe.
We got to look into this, though. So how much utility do the attackers have? I believe they have, what, a nade? And they have a single charge.
That sounds like... No, because they used a nade at green on C-Star.
They used a nade green, and they used the nade last round. So they only have a door charge.
They were planning to win one of those two. I don't think they're ready to win this one.
But on the other side of things, we have the defenders. Like, what do the defenders have on hand? The defenders have what?
You don't need much. You have a mop still. I think that's more than enough. I mean, the attackers looks like they have, counting 6 flashes and 3 smokes. They got the 4 black towers and no saber in hand. Meanwhile, for defense, they've got, let's take a look.
It looks like
2
two
Ingmars, 2
KRMs, two
KRMs.
Igmars, two
Yeah,
LS.
pretty solid.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
have
tie. I'm calling
defenders
it.
have everything they need.
They've
to
got
win.
everything they need to win a bank.
Unless a miracle happens here, it's probably a tie.
The main threat
a
is
comeback from both teams in one game. Good
if
Lord.
Gnomes remembers that both of those nades are down, you can think about the barbed wires differently. You don't place them differently necessarily, but you can think about playing them aggressively every single time.
You can get somebody to take an initial peek on lobby and then fall back and
also
long.
Yep, check out the same barb, right? You've got hallway long, but you've also got this right here.
Yep.
I think you can
yes, you can pen those. Those are glass. Those are glass at the top.
Well, the glass at the top, yeah, but you have to be crouched to use the X-ray machine, so I'm not sure. Or maybe you can just eke some damage over. I'm not sure.
I mean, free cam it. You could check in free cam for a second.
I could, yeah. Let's figure that out. Would that angle work?
Let's see.
Yeah, I think so. Yep, I believe you could.
So that could be pretty fun. Toxic, sort of chilling
Hopefully,
out.
Gnomes picks up on that because that could be very, very powerful.
Looks like Gnomes is more concerned about green though.
Well, initially, anyway, I think that they're just trying to kill whoever might push this vent, and then they're going to drop out of it. I bet. It's just
there's the smoke. That's good, but Reptar still does have a peek. Not going to connect a shot though. That could have been the win condition for them, as they're just going to get pushed.
Where's the
back?
Sleep solo here, but he's going to get flashed.
There goes the smoke. Sleep's going to push through it. Sleep's going to push through it. Does he find the pick? No, he doesn't. First pick goes to LCG, and they're still almost all full health. They might just be able to hit the button here through the smoke, but Index is getting aggressive. They need to get ready to use these flashes here. One's just going to run for the button. Not yet.
Where's the launch?
Toxic is just waiting on security. If they hit this, if they just run across and hit this button, they might be able to get it. But Scooch finds one. They need to flash. They're going for the button. Toxic, he's going to get the ball. This might be the end of the game. Admiral and Toxic both have security. Doesn't find the kill. It's just Index. Toxic is going to hold the close angle. Admiral, get on the bomb, my friend. You need to get on the bomb. And Vault is closed. This is the game. This is the game. Index finds one, but it doesn't even matter. Kuko is holding the button, and Admiral single-handedly is going to defuse the bomb. LCG sending Gnomes to relegation and upset nobody expected.
Holy smokes, man. LCG. 6 rounds of defense in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They got the one round of attack.
And the one round of attack that they needed.
And the round that they shouldn't have won as well.
That was wow. I mean,
I'll let you talk about this. No, I just want to say this button,
please.
That button. We saw buttons like that several times on the bank at the very beginning of the game. When there is such a small gap to hit that button, you can just run across and hit it. Even if you die, you can just run across and hit it.
That's what I was going to point to.
Gives them the map.
The barb setup they had was designed for an aggressive lobby hold with security, but Sleep decided to play it long with the KRM, but then run at them. Where was the molly, right? You
that also
only
would have been
that with the molly.
Very different story if Reptar hit that mop shot in lobby. Then they would have been much more careful pushing up to that button.
He gets a pick there, and then Sleep falls back, or the barb gets placed at the north side, so they can't sprint out of the barb. They have to just die to it from Malone's desk. Much different round that time. Wow, I think Gnomes took some notes on their failure for that barb to work, because that was critical.
2 upsets in one day. Wow.
Yeah.
We see the number 1 lower league team upset. Nakudama getting upset by Organized Chaos, and we see LCG, a team that everybody's kind of thrown on the sidelines, upset Gnomes, who have been both amazing and okay, crossing the line this season. So I have no more words unless you want to analyze what happened that game.
I mean, I'm just shocked at how many weird moments there were in that game. There was just a lot of weird plans. And then I think it was only in the last maybe 4 or 5 rounds where things started to make a lot more sense. And like you said, I really want to point out that kill house was one of the most impressive attempts to take that I've seen yet. I think if a more coordinated team had done that, they would have been on bomb earlier with the right angle, and you would have maybe been able to eke out a win for LCG earlier. But and the same could be said for Gnomes on that bank. That could have and probably should have been a win for them if they played to the strengths of their economy in that round, but they didn't, and LCG found a way to just hit the button, get in.
So I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I know we had a lot of different players pop off. We had Kuko come back from the dead in the beginning and finally start getting some picks. We saw Lin really get those multi-kills and push for sites with his team. We saw Reptar doing work on the sniper, and we
Yep.
saw Index get some opening picks. Who do you think was the most valuable player that game?
Who do I think was the most valuable player? Oh man, that's a good question. Honestly, off the top of my head, there were a couple rounds in there that Toxic kind of just ran the show, just to like on rounds where you didn't really expect him to pop off.
Mhm.
But I think ultimately it probably has to go to. Do I want to say Kuko? Maybe not. I feel like I'm going to say Toxic. I'm not sure if I can put my finger on it, but 2 out of 3 opening
Yeah,
duels, he it wasn't Lynn's 3 out of 5, but he played consistently throughout the whole game, and he made sure he
sure.
went nine kills, 9 deaths, 3 assists, and there was a couple rounds in there where he pulled off some pretty tricky plays that I think offset it a lot for LCG, and I think those. I believe it was him with the wall bangs on the auto shotgun on Kill House, right?
Mhm.
So it was those moments I think that really made him shine for me. Anyway, he was the standout player for me for sure.
Yeah, I think while Kuko was the standout player for like me,
Statistically,
actually
anyway. Yeah.
coming to life, he went from not getting any picks the first 2-3 rounds to absolutely destroying
Yeah.
gnomes
Yeah.
when he got into an engagement. But out of consistency, yeah, Toxic was just gliding through that game. I mean, it looked
Hmm.
like LCG, once they got the hang of things, they felt pretty comfortable. Granted that they did have 6 rounds of defense in a row, so there might have been some leniency, so considering they might favor defense, over attack.
Yeah.
But
I
for
don't want to.
consistency, I'll agree. I'll agree. Toxic
Yeah.
was the one who did
Well, no, I mean,
really well that game.
Lynn did amazingly well too, right? 12
Yeah,
kills, most in the game as well. I don't want to omit that. I just think there were a lot of interesting moments that I saw from Toxic, so I want to highlight those. That's all.
yeah.
But I think, yeah, that was a good game. Reptar with the most damage in the game at 1640. Index kind of fell behind in the end, I feel. He had a really strong start. He had 900 damage very, very early on. Only got 500 more damage after like round 3, I think. Right? He had like 900
Mhm.
early in the game. Only got 500 more damage as the rest of the rounds played out, which I think is maybe that was the downfall of Gnomes in that game, was them not being able to utilize Index and not have him just play that Ingmar and get those long range picks. But who knows, man? In another universe, in a parallel universe, maybe Reptar lands that one shot that he needed, and it's a different game, right? But
Maybe, but we'll
who
never
knows?
know. Maybe we'll see
We'll
that
never know.
in the future. Maybe we'll see LCG. Well, I mean, LCG is not getting relegated. They're committed to the next season now, even if they don't, show up in playoffs per se.
LCG, man, they just keep on kicking, no
They
matter
keep coming
what you
back.
throw at them. They're just back at it again and again and again. It's
But
crazy
I don't doubt that
every
Gnomes
season,
will go back, watch this game, and improve for relegation with the
without a
league
doubt.
teams. Yeah.
No, I'm sure
So
Index is taking lots and lots and lots of notes. He's a smart guy, of course. He's very, very bright. He's going to be thinking to himself, okay, what needs to change for this team to have success? Who needs to get shuffled around? What roles need to get shuffled? And he's going to
mhm,
look at all those plans, I think, and look at the weirder ones and say, we overestimated ourselves and we underestimated LCG,
yeah,
especially with LCG with Kuko, which is a new addition, right, for this season. And look at that and say to themselves, yeah, we kind of thought about this wrong, and it got to our heads, and I think that was the killer, right? The
mhm.
mind games they played on themselves is what killed them in the end, not necessarily LCG's incredible, work on some of those rounds.
And he's definitely capable of doing that. You mentioned he's smart. I mean, he literally
Yeah.
developed the stats for us. So big
Well,
thank you
program
for that.
is one thing, being able to manage a team is another.
Yeah. But I mean, he has
But
the
certainly,
capabilities. He's putting in the work for this team, and we've seen Gnomes actually come up pretty far in
wait,
since their
this.
inception, I would say.
Do you remember what I said at the beginning? Highs and lows. Is this their
Highs and
lowest?
lows. Is it? I mean, LCG is definitely at a high.
This is a high for LCG, but for gnomes,
So
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, going from beating GV once or twice to
I
being
mean, we saw LCG beat several other
relegated,
teams as
going
well.
relegation.
We saw
Yeah,
LCG beat Rise 7-0. Was it
true.
7-0 or 7-1? One of the two.
Fair enough. Yeah,
And I mean, LCG, I think they're getting more and more consistent. I mean, a lot of people don't take note of them because it's just like, oh, it's the team that's been around forever. They're just going
yeah,
to be around. They'll be in the bottom half of the league, but they'll still be around. But a lot of people are discrediting them like that just because they're an old team that hasn't really, won any notable events. That doesn't mean they're not good. It just means they haven't like won anything. I mean, you can still be a second place team and be good, or like be a third place team and still be good. It's just I don't know what I'm not going to ramble on, but they're a good team and people need to start eyeing out for them. That's what I'm trying to imply
yeah.
here.
Well, I think this is really a good boost for their mental as well, and now they can go in thinking, "Hey, we just pushed Gnomes out to relegation. I mean, we could actually take this a little more seriously." And they might go actually do a VOD review for once and take a look at that bank round at the beginning and say,
That might
"What did we
ask you
do
to help
wrong here?
mod review.
Can
Yeah.
can we win an attack round more than once?" You know, if they can figure that out, I think they're gold. But anyway, that was it for today, I think. And
Yeah,
next
we've
week is going
got
to
next
be,
week.
yeah, take it away, actually. Run us
Next
through
week,
next week.
we're going to have Upper League playoffs. So keep an eye out for that. That will decide, cash prize. And that will also
Mhm.
decide, well, all of them actually stay in for next season. So everyone going to playoffs is going to stay in for the next season of Due Process League. And everyone else who was outside of playoffs is going to be going to relegation, which is where we take the top teams from lower league and the lowest teams from the upper league and put them up against each other to decide who gets the upper league spots next season. So stay tuned for that. We have the final week of the lower league coming up this coming weekend, as well as the start of upper league playoffs. So you will not want to miss that. That is going to be the most intense matches that you can get. I mean, today was pretty intense, but we'll see even more intensity coming next week as these teams are going to be fighting for the crown. Revenant, do you want to say anything before we sign off?
If we have access to it, I'd love to hear how the other matches that are going right now. I've just received word that OC has just also beaten the Due Process baddies as well, so that's pretty
OC
impressive. I
putting
mean,
in work.
they came off a big high for beating Nakudama, so I'm not terribly surprised that they take that one. But I'd love to see if we have access to that information because we have a bunch of matches being played right now. But
Mhm.
other than that, not much. I'm excited for next week, of course. But I think these two matches we had today were some of the highlights of DPL. Period. These were really cool upsets to watch. Those are a lot of fun to cast as well.
Agreed. But I think that's going to be it for now. My name is Zadaxi Revenant. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lot of fun casting with you. And ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to tune in next week for our Upper League playoffs and the final week of Lower League.
All right, no worries then. Take care, guys. Have fun.